Back at it. It's a Monday. Pretty shocked that you had enough time to run and use the restroom right in between our segments here, Charles. It's pretty good. I'm just saying that's impressive.
I got these allergies, man. It's just kicking my butt this week. So, hey, had to go get these issues handled.
I'm sorry I had to disclose that type of information. 3 and out. Some friendly debate. And why not? Let's recap, like we just mentioned, maybe not the high school weekend, but the high school season, because that tells the entire story, doesn't it? Look, we obviously know that Manzano slipped up again. They lose to La Cueva. It's a tight game, obviously. It's a 2-point conversion to tie at the end. They can't get it done. Brandon Back and company. How smooth has Brandon Back been this year, by the way, with La Cueva? He's been awesome, right? 34-32 awesome win. You know, they finished in the season 7-2. Remember, they had the lightning delay when they were beating Valley, but doing a great job. I don't think anyone saw this coming. Even you and I mean, we thought La Cueva was good, but never great until they beat El Dorado, and then everyone looks at him differently now. And I think a highlight of this, Charles, is against Manzano, they win 34-32, right? They stopped the 2-point conversion. Well, they get the ball back, and what do they do for 6 minutes?
Of course, you know what they did.
They ran the clock out.
You're going to run the ball.
And they ran it methodically. Nobody seems to be able to stop it. Who can stop this? The only team to do it so far is, you know, Rio Rancho.
Early in the season, though.
Yes.
Early in the season.
But they did do it.
They did do it. But if you're La Cueva, your style is starting to work. Your kids are used to that style.
Starting to work.
It's one of those things where you mentioned they get the ball. 8 minutes left in the game. Oh, no problem. We're gonna run it. We're gonna give you, at best case scenario, you're gonna get maybe a minute or some change on the clock to answer back. They control the pace. They use that line. They run the ball. Kuyath makes good decisions. He hasn't turned the ball over. That's what you need. Just control the clock, control the ground game, field possession. La Cueva's doing a heck of a job at that.
Okay, well, look, we know that Cleveland loses to Rio Rancho, and Rio Rancho has now gone 10-0 on the season and smooth through everything. We know they're the 1 seed. There's no secret there. But Las Cruces and Mayfield, that game I was interested in. You know, I'm doing the play-by-play of Rio Rancho, but I'm keeping a heavy eye on this game, and it's going back and forth like it normally does. This never, ever is a bad game. I mean, I should have known that when making a pick, though I did get the pick right. I'm going to commend you because you did a great job, Charles. You said Las Cruces was going to go win this. Imagine if Cruces won and Cleveland won. Yeah. Seedings would have been a nightmare for the NMAA. Instead, it was pretty simple. Great rivalry.
The crazy part about all of the seedings, it literally came down to the last possession. All heck could have broke loose because Cleveland had a chance to win that game. They had the ball at the end of the game. Cruces played a phenomenal game. Sam Ellis finally probably getting comfortable, 240 yards passing, a touchdown. They're getting a little comfortable. Aeneas Reynolds doing his job down there. So both teams had a chance to pull these games out. So you know they got to be confident going into the tournament.
You know, I also want to mention Clovis. Our guy Juan San Juan. Listen,
San Juan.
The Clovis Wildcats win their district. They beat Hobbs. Now, Hobbs was very close to winning this one.
Yeah.
And you called it. Carlsbad does beat Alamogordo. So I'll tell you what. If Hobbs beats Clovis, Cibola is not dancing in this tournament.
Oh, no.
And so Cibola slides in. And a big shout out to the Cougars because I know they were watching the seating and selection show and they had a little party and they're in. The problem is they have to play Cleveland. Charles, we'll break that down. But how about Clovis? I mean, no one, you know, we are starting to talk about them, right?
We are.
Eric Bonehouse is nasty. They've got a running game. Gray is back in that lineup.
So you got.
They're a very physical team, just like Sandia.
Interesting. You know, we talk to coaches all the time. If you notice the message from most coaches we talk to, they say you have to grow as a team. You have hiccups. There's hurdles that you come across during the season. Clovis that's one of the teams that they had hurdles. We were writing them off saying, oh, they're losing. They're not doing what they traditionally do. Well, they were banged up. They had to infuse some younger talent. Micah Gray, just a sophomore. Took him a while to get acclimated to the speed of the game. Juan San Juan. They have 2 guys over 900 yards rushing, a big physical line, a quarterback who's more than serviceable, and the defense that's getting better. That's a team that you got to watch out for. That Clovis team is going to be. I wouldn't want to see him in the first round.
Well, it's going to have to happen. I mean,
Yeah.
San Diego's going to have to host him. We'll break that down a little bit here.
That's
but,
my game of the week, man.
Yeah,
That's right up my alley.
Well, we'll have it for you here on television as well, Charles. Clovis versus San Diego, the 7 versus 10 matchup. It'll be on Channel 26 along with ProVNetworks.com on Friday night. Don't forget that.
Can't
As playoffs
wait.
get rocking and rolling this week. Time to move on here on 3 and Out. And so, you know, we do a little high school. Now let's dabble into a little college. UNM, Boise State. Charles, you mentioned in the headlines, you know, it was a third down. The Lobos thought they had a first down. They did not. Boise got the rock and finished the game off. Lobos had a lead in this one, and offensively in the first half couldn't be stopped. Second half was a different story.
Completely different story. You're UNM. You're rolling. Boise can't stop you. The ground game is working. The stuff you pointed out last week, you said, hey, you know, let's stick to our bread and butter. Let's run the ball. Let's run the ball. Boise had a rough time trying to stop these guys, okay? Then I don't know what happened in the second half. So the second half come around, they score 7 points. Yes, that big fourth down was a big part of the game. But if you're Bob Davie, you're saying, guys, we could have mustered out some more points. That Presley injury is big. I give it to you. Dakota Cox being
Dakota
out,
Cox.
huge. But you were moving the ball without any force.
So I get to the radio. I'm at soccer all day for the state championships, Charles. And so I get to the radio, and it's just going into halftime, and Boise State has just scored a touchdown to make it a 7-point game. And I'm thinking, wow, we're going into the half. And then I hear the score. Robert Portnoy's calling it. It's 42-35 Lobos,
Yes.
right? And then he goes over the stats of the first half. Both teams over 400 yards of total offense.
Yeah.
In the first half. That's 800 yards of offense in the first half. It was a track meet, obviously, right? Second half, though, you know, we've had a problem, I think, coming out in the second half and maintaining what we've done offensively. And this game kind of shows it. Boise is the class of the Mountain West.
They are.
So, again, as frustrating as this loss is, Charles, again, I would just want to reiterate that I think Bob Davie has this program in the right direction. We have not been blown out or out of any Mountain West Conference game. The only game we've been blown out is Arizona State, and look how good Arizona State is. And that game was actually pretty close at half, if you remember. So if you can't sit there and objectively look at the Lobos are heading in the right direction, I don't think you're looking at this right. Would you agree?
I agree. If this defense catches up to this offense, it's going to be a long...
And it's better than years past,
It's
though.
going to be a long season for opponents moving into the future. Keep having faith. They're doing just fine.
Boise State,
a good matchup coming up this week
Boise
against
State
Utah
is
State.
legitimate.
They are.
All right, well,
We had it.
come on back. We'll have more 3 and Out NFL when we return. uSports Central.
Okay.